everybody. This is Tommy Allen. Welcome to the next Teller County Sheriff's Podcast. I'm going to start with some admin notes before we get into this here. First of all, as you probably know already, we are starting to do this on two platforms, a video and an audio platform. I'll put links to both of those, how you can get to either one of those in the episode's description. Also, there were some questions that came up asking for articles and more information on what we were talking about with the Venezuelan cartels. We will go ahead and also put links to some articles in the show's description so that you can find out more on your own. All right, this morning I am joined, of course, by Sheriff Mikesell. Got Commander Tedesco here and Corporal Cline here with us as well. Why don't we go ahead? Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, living the dream. So let's go ahead and start by talking about the. I understand that there's a peer program, a support program going on in the jail, right?
That's correct. It's not just for the jail. It's going to be something that is involving the entire office in itself, to include the family members. With peer support, it's a structured program that if we have, say, deputies that have either been out on a traumatic incident or whatever it may be in life at that point, that they need something or someone to kind of either consult with, either get some advice, talk, get it off their chest, giving them some type of path or some type of way to, or direction, in the sense of, hey, we're not the only ones going through these problems. Again, like I said, extended out to the families as well, being that family members are going to notice these issues coming home. They're going to have, a change in life at that point, right? Husband comes home, wife comes home, deputy, traumatic incident. They're not talking. They're not saying anything. Making things different at home, making things different at work. These are things that other deputies, other peers, would be able to see as well. And go, hey, it'd be just like you and I. Hey, Tommy, there's something different going on. What's going on, man? Are you okay? Right? Reaching out, extending that hand, showing them that we are not the only ones that have these problems.
And I think, Tommy, too, and to break it down kind of for citizens to understand, is that in law enforcement, you don't have as many mechanisms to support officers, right? So they're really the ones that are left behind a lot of times. So we have things in place for victims of crimes. We have things in place for suspects in crimes. But really what wasn't happening over the years, and I did peer support training many years ago, was that there wasn't a system set in place to help deputies. And some of that's just talking about the issues.
Exactly.
It may be going to a traumatic death scene. It may be going to a traumatic suicide type event. It may be, just all the compounding issues that a deputy's dealing with on a daily basis, from news, media stuff, or just a feeling of just you can't win. And we've all had those feelings over the last 8 years of really kind of the direction of the state of Colorado, and in many other circumstances. So there's issues that are direct results of, then there's issues that are just kind of a wash from multiple things that really kind of take over at just the general feeling and health of a deputy. So that program that's being in place now really has to deal with that peer support. How do we get other people involved in talking to one another? And I think, Kevin, that's probably where we're at with it.
That's the biggest focus here is, number one, there's an old culture in law enforcement and other first responders that asking for help or looking for help was seen as a weakness. And in order to get past that is to develop a new culture, a new understanding of what asking for help really means and what that looks like and how that feels. And the more people that we can involve as a peer support group member, as a participant in the actual program itself, leads to better understanding and leads to more implementation and use of the program in and of itself. So.
Yeah, and I think for all of us, there's a retention issue, right? The better health a deputy's in, the more retention we have. Secondarily, that break the cycle of them bringing something home, right? So that their families can understand what they're dealing with. I just think it's better for the health of the agency. It's
Absolutely.
Health of all the officers.
Absolutely.
We talked about that in the training segment this morning with the deputies as well. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of components to employee wellness. It's not just physical, it's not just mental, but it's the culmination of both. And you could be in the best physical condition you could possibly imagine yourself being in, but if your mental conditioning isn't matching that, you're shortchanging the entire culminated event. Same with mental health. If you're working on your mental health, but your physical health is failing, it's hard to be in the right frame of mind to have the best mental health as well.
So it sounds like this actually kind of brings law enforcement deputies into line with the military and just civilian jobs. I mean, there are pressures from all those jobs that people are dealing with that would hurt their job performance if they went unanswered. So this helps them personally, helps their home life, but also helps their job performance as well, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. It bridges a huge gap. You have at one end of the spectrum the happiest, most stable mindset employee, and at the other end of the spectrum you have somebody that's significantly affected in whatever capacity that might be, for whatever reason that might be. And we now have to look at that person as, are they even able to do their job safely, efficiently, and can we trust them to fulfill their duties that they're expected to perform for the community? There's a big gap between those two things. And that peer support group organization, in culmination with our associations and relationships with clinical therapists and psychologists, will help bridge that gap so we can avoid that spectrum of ill performance or that spectrum of negativity. So.
Absolutely.
And I think, Tommy, too, that peer support's not just only for deputies. I believe you have a peer support group in the jail also for inmates.
Absolutely, we do. Mental health is a big consideration to criminal behavior. Chemical dependency is a huge contributor to criminal behavior as well. We have a substantial network within our jail setting to battle both of those things. We have in-person counseling. We have structured organization process within the jail where we battle chemical dependency, those that have been incarcerated with chemical dependency issues. We have daily classes and daily interaction with those folks. And also, we have a significant impact on them and with them and maintained interaction with them post-arrest or post-incarceration. So once they've been released, we still have a network of individuals that maintain contact with them to see them through to fruition to get into chemical dependency treatments after arrest or after incarceration as well. So.
It's very interesting to me, Tommy, as a sheriff. We in the past would never allow mental health to be, we didn't do mental health. We were not mental health professionals. What I'm finding now, though, is that not only are we mental health professionals to a degree, but we're now having to administer the different portions of those programs within our facilities, within our agency, and then to the community. So we also partner with Northeast Teller County Ambulance District, who supplies for suicidal folks or for those that are having mental issues. They have almost a peer support program of their own running. It's probably one of the best programs I've ever seen. James McLaughlin runs that program under Tim Dietz at the ambulance district. So that's a community-driven mental health program. And what we're finding in Colorado, because of the cartels, because of the high rate of substance abuse that's going on within the state of Colorado, there's more of a need for mental health than there's ever been. So all of these programs are grant funded right now, which I think is probably a good thing. We don't know what happens when we lose those programs, because I think those are the three spokes to a wheel that we're dealing with right now. There's the deputies' mental health that we're worried about, the civilian or our community mental health folks that we're dealing with, and then our jail impact on the mental health side of things. So I think all three of those have a huge component that we're dealing with right now. And I don't know that communities or citizens even know that we're having to do these things.
Right.
But our deputies are having to go to courses on how to deal with mental subjects. We're working more with the ambulance district than we've ever worked, and in a much tighter focus on that. And I think it just doesn't end. A lot of our crimes are mental health issues. A lot of our substance abuse are mental health issues, or that's where they turn into. And really, there's not a lot out there for those folks if we weren't doing these programs and really trying to focus everything towards that.
Yeah, and I see two big benefits to come out of this. One is the inmates, when they leave the jail, that helps them integrate better back into society, become more productive, and which is a benefit for both them and also the community. But it also helps keep them from having to interact negatively with law enforcement again, become arrested, become incarcerated again, become repeat offenders. They can go beyond some of those reasons where they may be committing those crimes. And
Absolutely.
you know,
I mean, the way I've seen it, and like I said, I mean, we've all been in law enforcement for quite some time. I mean, this is something that we didn't do 20 years ago. You know, having the resources that we have now and being able to do what we do as far as like with crisis intervention and whatnot, stuff like that puts us in a different level at this point. Also puts you in a position like with our inmates in the jail. They see us as something different. It's not that hammer all day long. It's that, oh, this guy kind of understands and is giving me the resources that I need. At that point, it's on them to take that. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
When it comes to that kind of level, we didn't do that stuff.
No.
We didn't do that back then.
I remember the old adage for us was, you know, rub some dirt on it.
Right.
Or it was, hey, get a bottle and deal with it tonight and come back tomorrow morning.
Absolutely.
Right. So it was a different thought process but that's why you also saw a high number of law enforcement suicides. And you saw a high degree of divorces. And there was a constant theme within a sheriff's office, right? Or a police department or anywhere in law enforcement. But that just wasn't us. That was also in the communities. That was also and I think over the years, identifying the issues and needs have really created where we're at with the peer support groups for both inside the jail and then also with law enforcement officers. Right. And then some of the advanced things we do now on how to deal with when somebody has some severe problems and how to get them back on track, and that it's not this is not your life. It doesn't have to be your life. We can put some things in place to help change that and get even deputies or law enforcement officers back on track. But we can do it with communities, and we can do it with jail issues and inmates, and I think that's a huge thing.
I think it's important to remember that, you know, our law enforcement members are human. Our inmates in the jail are human. And if we don't start treating each other as humans, then we're all going to be failing.
Well, that's my concern, right? It's failure. Failure's not an option for any of us because it's we have a job to complete, and we have great personnel, and we have great people in the community, and a lot of those inmates made a momentary decision that created them to have to be staying with us for a while, but that doesn't mean that defines what their life is. So our hope is that you can do rehabilitation, you can get someone back to where they need to be, and that's what we're here for.
why don't we go ahead and move on to talk just briefly about the success that we had with the vet rally last weekend. A lot of motorcycles coming through, a lot of happy people. Looked like it went really, really well last weekend with the law enforcement, our interagency partnership with the state troopers and also with Woodland Park PD.
Yeah. You know, our population in Teller County has grown quite a bit, from people that are visiting to people that are living here. So for us to be able to integrate so well with different agencies, I think that's a huge piece for us because we just don't have enough people every day. So the Woodland Park Police Department, the Colorado State Patrol, all those folks are assisting us. And even honestly, the biking rally folks that are dealing with it, they somewhat integrate right into us also. And they do a great job at flagging the roads and getting their systems set up. And
Well, they put a lot of effort into that.
Put a lot of, that's Jim Weir, and he does do a good job with that. He's really kind of a master at running those types of events.
Well, yeah.
There's a lot of history behind that event, and they really put a lot of effort into everything that they do with it, both the organizers and the participants and those of us that support it administratively and logistically. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I'm a vet, you're a vet. We have such a high rate or a high percentage of veterans
Absolutely.
that live
We
up
have
here.
a lot of retirees, a lot of prior service folks up here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one great thing about our community. It's got a lot of veterans, and just a lot of good people.
And I'm going to get in trouble with Renee if I don't bring up the HDSA donor dinner that we
You
have
will.
coming up.
Man, Tommy, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So the Honorary Deputy Sheriff Association has assisted the Teller County Sheriff's Office and community for many years now. I started working with them probably 15 years ago. And they supply the funding mechanism for the Shop of the Hero events. They supply stuff for the coat drives. They supply things for our agency. When we needed vests for the agency, the HDSA was able to find the money to do that, to get us started, and then the county follows up with making sure now every deputy has a vest when they come to work here, an Angel Armor not 616, but an Angel Armor type vest. That's huge, and whatever we can't fund, they will find the money for. And these are built of great leaders from our community. So it's an independent 501c3 that's on their own. They do their own thing, but they support us. And they're doing a donor dinner this year, and that donor dinner we hope is a resounding success. Polaris from Woodland Park gave the HDSA an actual Polaris to auction off at the event. I can't say enough for Polaris here in Woodland Park. They're amazing people. We've known them. That's Jeff Book, and he's retired. His daughter is now taking over the business. So it's a family-owned business that's been around here a long time, and just great people.
They donated an ATV, right?
Yeah, an ATV. Yeah. So
awesome.
that thing will be auctioned off at the event. We've got other auction items that they're going to be doing. What a wonderful format. And then they're doing an actual. I can't say music venue.
Concert.
Concert, yeah.
They're doing a concert, Tommy.
Live music.
Yep. Yeah, live music. It's a concert. I lost my train of thought there, but that event, they are going to sell tickets for it. It's with
West.
Exit West. Yeah. So Exit West, one of their sons worked for us for several years. Got his start in law enforcement through us, has moved on, but they've agreed to come back and do a concert with us. And they're a great band, so that's pretty
band.
exciting.
Yeah.
Tommy, what's the date for that?
So that's going to be Friday, September 13th. The dinner starts at 5:30. Renee encourages everybody to be there by 5, and it'll go till 8. Then the concert starts at 8 and goes on till 10. Now you have two options that you can purchase your way for this. One, if you want to go to both the dinner and the show, that's $50. If you want to do just the concert, that's $20, and I'll put the contact information in the notes for this episode. Also, there's going to be a cash bar at the dinner, and that seems to kind of be everything.
It should be fun.
I think it'll be a great time.
Oh, it's going to be very enjoyable.
Yep.
Okay, I think we've covered everything that we want to cover in this week's episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thank you, Sheriff, Commander, and Corporal, for joining me here today for this. And we'll go ahead and see you on the next episode.
And Tommy, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all your support and your help with everything that we do. We can't do it without you. I guess that closes it out.
All right. Well,